But all right, I have five things the Redskins need to do to win this game before we get into predictions. Is there anything else you want to say before I go into these five things?
Well, I only have one thing that they need to do to win the game. And that's score
For
more
more
points.
points than the other team. Yep, I saw that
But
coming.
go ahead.
All right, John Madden.
Sorry, I had to, boom.
The team with the most points usually wins the game.
Yes.
Typically,
The
95% of the time.
one that scores more at the end of the fourth quarter tends to win the game most of the time.
Yeah. All right. So we got it. Here we go. Five things the Redskins need to do to win this game. Number one is something that you just talked about earlier, is get to Carson Wentz. This guy is made of glass. He's getting injured all the time. I don't want a dirty hit on him. I don't want something crazy to knock him out of the game. But if we put pressure on him, that could be huge. So that's everybody. You always want to put pressure on the quarterback, but Carson Wentz specifically, you could all of a sudden not have a starting quarterback just on a legal hit because if he's made of glass. So
What
get
year
to
is this
Carson Wentz.
for him? Fifth year?
Uh, he was drafted the same year as Jared Goff. Yeah, yeah. This is his fifth year.
So he's got it. How many years has he played a complete season? I know the last two he didn't. So I'm trying to think out of 5 years, how many times has he?
Has he
And
played
I'm
a full
not. This
season?
is not a gotcha question. I'm just.
No, I
thinking
know.
on
I don't remember. I know his knock is injuries. I mean that's his knock. So I don't know if he even has played a whole season. I don't remember what he did in
Because
his rookie year.
was it two
He may
years
have
ago they
played.
won the Super
He may
Bowl?
have played his whole rookie season. I think he may have played his whole rookie season. And then the year they won the Super Bowl was 3 years ago, and that was he played most of the season. I think he played 13 games before he finally got hurt. And then the
Right.
next year he
But
just wasn't the same as far he didn't play the entire year, but he was all even when he did play, he didn't look like the old Carson Wentz. And then last year they ended up making the playoffs, but he actually may
but
have
he
made it through the whole season, but he got hurt in the playoff game.
okay. So maybe 2 years out of 5 he's played a complete season,
Yeah.
but that's at most.
Right.
But anyway, move along. I was
Yep.
just. I
No
agree.
worries.
That's
All right, so that's number one. Number two, Terry McLaurin needs to show why our fan base loves him so much. This guy is obviously a beast, and I went back and watched the film against last year against Detroit, where Darius Slay, the new corner for the Eagles, used to play for Detroit, and Terry was open a few times, like at least three times deep, and one should have been a touchdown that Dwayne Haskins missed multiple times because he just wasn't
yeah.
quite there yet. That
Right.
was Dwayne Haskins' first win, but it wasn't a pretty one. Like he did not play a very good game, and especially not throwing to Scary Terry. He did not show up. So I want him to have a huge day against this offense, and he can do it. He's a monster receiver. He made Stephon Gilmore last year look silly in a lot of situations, who a lot of people argue was a top cornerback last year. Like, Scary Terry is the real deal, and I want to see a big day out of Scary Terry.
Okay. So let me ask you this before we move on. Do you think Gandy Golden plays into that at all on the other side?
I think it's going to take some get build up for Gandy Golden. I don't see him coming out the gate and having a big day yet. Steven Sims is going to get some play. I hope Steven Sims can be effective. And Dontrell Inman is going to be the starter over Gandy Golden to come out. But I hope Gandy Golden comes out by the end of the season as a guy that going into next year could be a legit number 2 receiver or even a number 1 caliber receiver.
Well, and the other reason why I'm saying that is that um, I see the possibility that right now Philly's playing or preparing for Terry McLaurin. And so the safety's going to be leaning his way. They're going to be trying to, do what they can to shut him down. And if the other guys can take advantage of that and start making some plays, then now they can't do that anymore. And now they start opening the door for McLaurin on one-on-one and things so I'm thinking there's going to have to be a little bit of that where if the other guys aren't doing anything, then they're going to lean all their extra resources on Terry, and he's going to have a hard time. But if the other guys can take advantage of the opening with them leaning that way and being able to make a few catches and now make the defense play more honest, then I think you're going to see McLaurin maybe shine a lot more, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Well, I'll move into my number 3 because it kind of segues there. Is Haskins needs to hit the open man. As I said, there was times last year where he was not hitting the receivers like he needed to. He's got a whole nother offseason under his belt. Well, kind of an offseason. But he showed towards the end that he got better. He progressed through the season. I talked about this in my video about Dwayne Haskins. And he progressed throughout the year. The film showed that he was capable of throwing the ball anywhere he wants to. He just needs to hit the open guy because there will be open guys in this offense because we have a lot of talent to get open.
Yep.
There's a lot of talent out of the backfield and out of the receiving position that not so much the tight end, but he could be okay. But we have talent where if he just hits the open guy and then eventually, as you're saying, takes enough pressure off where Terry McLaurin can get open. And Terry McLaurin really may only need 2 big plays. Like 2 plays where Terry McLaurin gets behind the defense on a play action or something like that. And all of a sudden Terry McLaurin could have a stat line of 120 yards, 2-3 catches, and 2 touchdowns. And that's huge.
And I think that also hinges on the offensive line being able to keep Haskins from worrying about who was it that said about the trash around their feet? I don't want to mention his name, but
yeah, Alex Smith. No,
no, but I'm just saying that hopefully that obviously Haskins has got to see the field to be able to hit the open man, and I'm hoping that the play calling and the offensive line gives him that opportunity to at least gives him that opportunity to do that, to be able to look downfield without being set on his butt every 5 seconds. Because when that starts happening, then you start looking at the line and you're not looking down the field. So.
Well, this leads into my number 4 of how we're going to
Isn't that amazing how that works?
Limit the ability to get Dwayne Haskins is I think we need to be creative in the run game. This defensive line is not somebody that you decide that, we're just going, like, we're not going to be the Hogs back in the day where we go up to this defensive line and say, we're running at you and run at them. That will lose you games against this Eagles defense, okay? They have a great run defense.
I think Turner's the guy for that.
Yes.
Because he did that very well in Carolina.
So we have a lot of versatile and diverse running backs, diverse styles and things. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick. Barber's kind of more of a standard running back, but Bryce Love can do it all as well. And then we have Steven Sims that could come around on the end arounds for a creative run game. That is going to be very important going into this game, and that will help keep the pressure off Haskins where the defensive line is guessing where the ball is going to be going. So if you have a good creative run game and get successful, that play action where you find Terry McLaurin deep down the field can be very important. So a diverse run game will be critical in getting this Dwayne Haskins standing up straight. Now, number 5. Number 5 is maybe the most important. Limit the penalties. We have been one of the most consistently penalized teams in the league for who knows how long now, years. We just constantly have penalties, especially in very important key situations where we have that big play that we needed and it comes back with a freaking flag.
Morgan Moses.
Yeah. Limit the penalties, and that will be huge to have a chance to win this game. Limit
I think that puts,
the penalties.
I think you can put that in the category, but I understand your point because the Redskins haven't gotten that. But normally, I mean, that would be like 101 of any team. Look, don't get a false start. Don't get a holding penalty. Unless you're saving your quarterback from absolutely getting killed, which means you got beat to begin with. Don't hold and stop. So I get that. That's, like I said, that should be in the category, but in this team, it is very, it's very much one of the yes, don't get a lot of penalties.
Right.
But anyway.
So, just to gun through again, get to Carson Wentz. Terry McLaurin needs to show up. Haskins just needs to find the open man and hit him. Creative in the run game and limit the penalties. That is my top 5 takeaway, or top 5 things the Redskins need to do, or the Washington football team needs to do to win this game.
I still like what Del Rio said about his defense. I'll add this, that you cover the run on the way to the quarterback. So you defend against the run, so everybody's trying to get to the quarterback, and if the guy happens to catch, or if he hands off the ball and he's in your area, tackle him on the way. So I kind of like that. I mean, it seems obvious, but I just like that of, hey, everybody's on the way to the quarterback, and if they happen to hand it off, cover that on your way to the quarterback.
Gotcha. So this now leaves us with predictions for game number 1. You want to go first or me go first?
No, I want you to go first because I know you're Mr. Pessimism and I'm Mr. Optimism, and I want to leave on a positive note.
I like to call me a realist, but that's
potato. I mean,
that's what I like to call myself. But all right, I think it's going to be a good game. I think we'll be in it until the end, but I don't think this young team has enough to stick around with a very well-coached and experienced team in the Eagles. And I think this one gets away from us late with probably a late touchdown, 27-17. The Redskins go down week 1, but we show some promise. And I think we will be a good team next year, but I don't think it's quite this year. So I think we lose game 1, 27-17.
Okay, well, I look at it differently because I remember last year when this unconditioned or non-conditioned team that couldn't play 60 minutes outplayed Philadelphia in the first half and pretty much ran out of gas in the second half. And so I'm hopeful that we see something similar to the start that we had last year, only they don't falter in the second half. And I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but again, if we could do what we did last year in the first half, then we win this game by 7, maybe 27-17, 24-17, something like that.
Okay. So you got 24-17 is your prediction?
Yeah.
And
I don't want to be greedy.
Win. We don't want to be greedy. You don't want to say 47-4?
No, but you remember the game last year. But at halftime,
yes.
At halftime, we were all feeling good. It was like going, wow.
The
this
defense
team is
fell
impressive.
apart. The defense absolutely fell apart.
Of course they did, because it was Minuski, right? I mean,
garbage. Garbage
plus
defensive coordinator.
You had a coach that didn't condition them. So if you notice last year, in a lot of games, the Redskins ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. And I don't think that's this team this year. I think they got a coach that knows you got to condition yourself to play 4 quarters. And if the Redskins play 4 quarters, I think they win this game. They are not a worse team than they were in game 1 of last year.
I am rooting for 1,000,000-0 Washington Redskins. I will
Tim,
happily
I know that.
Be so wrong about this prediction. Just want to put that out there. But that is my prediction. 27-17. Eagles take us down game 1, but we fight hard, and it's not a blowout. We don't score a garbage touchdown to make it a 10-point game. I think they score a final touchdown or maybe a final field goal to ice the game, and it's a tough one to lose, but it's a building block.
They outscore us like 21-3 in the second half last year? Or something stupid like that.
24-3.
I think we were 17-3 at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. Or they got
a touchdown. They got a touchdown.
So it was 17-10. You're right, but it was like up until the last 2 minutes of the first half, we were basically handling them, and I just think that, again, I'm not saying you should change your prediction. I'm just saying that I don't think our team is worse than it was last year. I think in a lot of ways it's better, and it's better coached. So I'm hopeful that it starts much like it did last year, only we don't falter in the second half.
Perfect.
But we don't have Vernon Davis, getting a touchdown, crying over his father's death and all that. So that's a lot of emotion, I'm sure, that drove
And
them.
that touchdown was
but
insane.
Jake Gruden was not a motivator.
That touchdown was,
yes.
He was at the sideline, jumped over a dude in between two guys. And, yeah, it was an insane long play.
I think he was as surprised as anybody else when he jumped and he ended up landing on the ground and was so. I think he was just trying to get a couple extra yards, and he was like, "Let me jump over this guy and try to slide it," and nobody touched him, and it was like, "Hey, I see the end zone."
Yeah, it was awesome. So. Great play. Awesome. All right. Well, let us know what you think down in the comments, what your predictions are, and we'll see who was the closest. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. The like button is on this side for mobile. If you have any of your own thoughts or questions, comment down below. We may just answer it next video. Thanks. See ya.